These past numbered UFC cards, 328, 327, 326, even 329 upcoming. Like, all these cards have good name potential, has some very good fights on them, lots of finishes, really like a lot of hype around them, and they all delivered. But this upcoming card after, UFC 329, McGregor and Holloway this Saturday, UFC 330, you know, I looked at it. I remember when it was announced, and I was just like, okay, cool. Makhachev is fighting. It's been some time since we last saw him fight, and he's versus Ian Gary, which makes sense. Not mad at it. Makes total sense. Ian Gary, whether you like it or not, Ian Gary was gonna get a title shot, and he got it. And he's versing Islam Makhachev August 15th in Philadelphia, hometown. But like the biggest problem with this card is just that, like, the surrounding fights on it, even like the main card of this, like it's just not what you think it's gonna be. Like, I don't even care if there's gonna be tons of finishes on this card. This card genuinely is one of the worst cards of the year, and it's up there with Yusuf Zalal versus Aljamain Sterling, and Grant Dawson versus Renato Moicano. But I'll cut Moicano versus Duncan some slack just because had a lot of finish on that card, which is, that's always good for any fight card, whether the name's on it. But like, I really don't know. Like, Dana White always amazes me. Like, he always impresses me, and he always, lets me down plenty of times, like repeatedly. And this card is just, I don't understand. Like, what are some of these fights on this card? Genuinely, this card is shit. It's so bad, bro. Honestly, I don't understand why, like, some of these fights are even on here. And as I thought, I decided today, let's go over every fight that's been announced so far in this card, and let's just really determine if these fights really belong or not. Because me personally, most of these fights should not be here. They should be on some other card, a fight night, a lesser valued name card. Not no Makachev versus Ian Gary fight. That's crazy. Makachev brings in a bunch of views. Ian Gary brings in a bunch of views. Why are so many fights on this card? These fights don't. Some of these fights generally don't even like add like like regardless of who wins the fight, it wouldn't matter because it is nothing for. I mean, okay, they want to fight, but does it anything for the career really to boost them up in the rankings? No. Some of these fights like make no sense, honestly. But let's go into each of the fights. Really, like, take a deep dive and understand if they belong or they do not belong. Now with the main event, the first fight I'm going over here is on Magachev versus Ian Machado Gary, or Ian Cut Gary, if you may call him, for the welterweight title, the welterweight belt. This fight was honestly anticipated. He is the number one contender in the welterweight division, so it was expected. No one's people. Some people are mad, because people don't like Ian Gary. I'm kind of on their side too. He's kind of annoying, but it's understandable that he gets this title shot just because he's the number one contender. It was bound to happen. He's been on a win streak. He's won. Yeah, he's won a bunch of fights. He has a good amount of names that he's beaten on his title run. That makes sense. I mean, his last fight was against Bilal Muhammad in November. I mean, that fight, now you see Bilal Muhammad now. I mean, to be honest, like, it doesn't really matter. He's washed. He fell off. Really, I mean, he's old. So I don't really care for that fight, but like, he's beating Carlos Prates, he's beating Jeff Neal Magny. He has some guys. I mean, he beat Michael Venom Page, but his only loss is Shavkat Rakhmonov, which is, that's fair because Shavkat's a beast. But eventually he will gonna get this because he keeps on going up in the rankings. He keeps on winning a bunch of these fights, and I just think that, like, I think this fight is really good. It's a good main event. It is an expected main event. I wouldn't say it's really good. I'll take that back. It's not really good, but it's a good main event. I like it. It makes sense. So it's good. It's fine. I'm fine with this. Now we get to the the surrounding fights on this main card of this of UFC 330. And this fight, we have Mackenzie Dern versus Gillian Robertson for the women's strawweight title belt. Now, as you can see on the side on the right, I put in like little notes, to show everybody like, my opinion on this. And honestly, like I like Mackenzie Dern. Gillian Robertson is cool, but I don't really care that much. But it's just like, does this fight really need to be on this card? We could have put on a card earlier, maybe after this card. I'm just not the biggest fan of this fight being on this card. It's cool, but like I just don't think it should be on this card. It's fine, like cool. Strawweight title belt, I mean, sure I mean, obviously Mackenzie is going to be, defending her belt this year. Of course, she's going to be, fighting this year uh with the belt. I mean, but I just don't really care for this fight. Nothing against the women's strawweight division, but I just could care less about this fight being on a Makachev versus Ian Gary card. To me, that's kind of crazy. But anyways, next fight we have Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Like I said, I put comments on the right so you can read what I've been saying about a lot of these fights on the card. Honestly, I do not know why Neil Magny is on this. I mean, you know what? He can be on this card, but like he's 38 years old, bro. Honestly, why? Why? Like from what I'm seeing right now, on the card, this is like when like one of the first three fights on the card, which is cool. That's just for it being one of the first fights on the card. That's fine, totally fine. Neil Magny doesn't really bring too much name value anymore, but at one point he did. He was pretty good. And then we have Ramiz Brahimaj. I mean, I don't really care too much about him, but this fight seems cool. Cool, chill fight. I feel like this fight, I mean, I feel like this fight would be on a fight night main card, like one of the first fight of the main card on a fight night. I mean, I don't know why I feel that vibe from it, but it's cool. It's a cool fight. It's solid. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care about Brahima. It's whatever to me, but it is what it is. I'm gonna move on because this fight, I don't really care. It's like the 10th fight of the card, so we can just move on. Don't really care. Next up we have Jalen Turner versus Kawe Fernandez. Now, this fight is cool. I mean, Kawe Fernandez I like him a lot. I like Jalen Turner too. I like both of the fighters in this fight. I mean, I feel like the way some of these fights are on here, I think some of them need to be moved around. Like when you look at it, this fight is number 4. It's in the main card. I don't think it should be that high. Maybe it should be a little bit lower, like 7, 8-ish. But I just don't think that this fight really is like it's not main card level. Just to me, I'm just being my opinion. Both these guys, I like both these fighters. They're cool. There's a lot of aspects to their fighting styles that I like. I like this fight is a good fight, a good matchmaking fight. I like it. It can stay on the card, but I just don't think that this fight should be in the main card. That's it. Next fight, we have Jeff Neal versus Chidi Jokani. I mean, Chidi Jokani just sucks, to be honest. That's all I put for my comments. I mean, I don't really care that much about this fight. Um, Honestly, like I love Jeff Neal. He's an underrated fighter to me now. I mean, he's kind of been in the fall off. He's only like one fight in his last 5 fights. But overall, I think Chidi Okani. I don't really care for him, to be honest. So we can move on. Really, honest to God, I don't care about this fight. It's two like two older guys. I don't really care that much. So let's move on to the next fight. Next fight we have Mansur Abdul Malik versus Dustin Stoltzfus. You know, this fight to me does not belong on this card. First of all, Mansour Abdul Malik doesn't really impress me at all as a fighter. I don't really care for him that much. I watched a couple of his fights, but I just don't see anything that amazes me about him. But another problem with this, I believe I believe this fight is on the main card. That's not a good sign at all, bro. Like imagine this. Imagine a card headlined by Islam Makhachev and Ian Gary, and then you see Mansour Abdul Malik and Dustin Stoltzfus on the start of the main card of this. Bro, oh, okay, why, who match made this fight and put it on here? Like, okay, I'm gonna put, you know, Stoltzfus versus Abdul Malik on this card. Like, brother, no, bro. Like Dana, what are we doing here, man? Like, this fight should not be on this card. It should be on a fight night or something, bro. A perfect fight night fight. I would love it. Perfect on a fight night card. I would love that. Put it on the Usman versus Dricus Duplessis card, bro. Perfect. Not this card. Honestly, next we have Jeremiah Wells versus Mikdwek Oral by. I mean, this fight is cool. I believe it should stay on the card. It's fine with me. I don't really care that much. Mikdwek Oral by is coming off a win against Chris Curtis. I mean, to me, going from Chris Curtis to Jeremiah Wells, I don't think Jeremiah Wells is better than Chris Curtis, to be honest. Because like, if you saw what Mikdwek Oral by did to Chris Curtis, bro, they're gonna do the same thing to Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells is gonna get beat. That's all I gotta say. And this, I'd never even noticed, but Jeremiah is actually almost 40, bro. That's insane to me. And he's still in the UFC. Good for him, bro. Good for him. And he has a good. He's like 6, 5 wins in the UFC, and he's fought like 8 times, 9 times, and he's not a bad fighter. But to me, this fight is really one sided, honestly. But it's a cool fight in the car. I don't really care that much. It's cool. It can stay. You know, I think it should be higher than some of these other fights I've been talking about in the past couple whatever. But like I just, but this fight is cool though. It's fine. And then we have we have Vincent Luque, longtime UFC veteran versus Tresean Gore, a fan favorite amongst the UFC community. This is another cool prelim fight. I believe it's in the early prelims. So it's cool. No complaints about it at all. I actually like this fight a lot. But me personally, I don't think Tresean Gore should be fighting Vincent Luque. I think he should be fighting someone else. This matchmaking is fine, but I just feel like Tresean Gore should be fighting him. But I don't know. That's just my opinion, honestly. But this fight is cool. Another like cool, chill fight. But then I feel like yeah. I feel like honestly that like maybe they could have done a different type of fight with Tresean Gore or Vincent Luque, or honestly, had these two fight different people on the same card, and maybe took some of the other fights out. But cool fight. It can stay perfect. Now we have Edson Barboza versus Esteban Ribovics. However you say his name. I don't really care too much about this guy, but I think he's fine. He's a good fighter. I like Esteban. Or he's a cool fighter. I wouldn't say really good, but it's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I love Edson Barboza, bro. I used to watch a lot of his highlights, bro. But brother, my guy, it is time to stop. Dude. First of all, he's on 3-5 losing streak. That's one thing. And he also lost to Jalen Turner, got KO'd by him, who's on this card. Also Becker Kloss, and lost to Leon Murphy. Like, brother, you have to stop fighting at some point, bro. I get it, these fighters like to hold on to these fights, bro. But first of all, why is Edson Barboza actually on? Bro, if you look at how high some of these fighters are, like some of these fights are on the card, bro. Edson Barboza, this is a 6th fight. I feel like this should be an early. Like it should be. This is a prelim fight, but it should be like a little bit lower, bro. I genuinely think this fight is below Vincent Luque versus Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore is a younger guy. Vincent Luque is a younger guy. Sure, they're in their like they're in their early 30s. Edson Rose is 40, bro. He's 40, dude. And brother, he like I don't think he should be on this. I don't think this fight should be on this card either, bro. I'm just not a big fan of these fights, bro. These fights are cool, but they don't make any sense to be on this card, bro. Makhachev versus Gary should have a bunch of good fights surrounding it, not a bunch of slop. What this is slop, bro. I'm being honest, this is generally slop, bro. It should not be on this card, bro. Come on, Dana, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? You honestly shouldn't have even put some Rose on this card, bro. Bro, come on, man. What are we doing, bro? And the last fight of the card, Aaron Blankfield versus Jasmine Jazz the Vicious. I'm not gonna lie, who I'm not gonna lie, most of the UFC fan base, a good amount of people, are not gonna care for this fight. This fight to me makes a lot of sense. It's a fine fight, This fight has a lot of meaning to it as well because they're both ranked number 4 versus number 7 in the flyweight division, women's flyweight division, which is cool. Fight makes a lot of sense, but not a lot of fighters gonna be happy for this fight. I mean, I'm not gonna say the obvious reason why, but I think this fight is fine. These are two like nice, good, solid fighters, fighting for rankings in the division. Perfectly fine fight, but overall, my take on this whole card is that it just doesn't make sense for a lot of these fights to be so high up and be on here in the first place because a lot of them don't have meaning, first of all, and second of all, like the matchmaking on these, like some of these fights are like stupid, bro. Why is Mansour Abdul Malik fighting Dustin Stoltzfus? Why, bro? And why is he even on this card? That's, to me, that's one of the weirdest fights on this card, bro. Why is it on here? Jalen Turner versus Kawhi Furnace is cool. The main event and co-main event are cool. Those are fine. But then we have Esteban Rose on here versus Esteban Rivas. Like, no one cares. I don't know. Like, that's cool. Jeff Neal versus Chidi and Jokani. I mean, it's cool, but like why, bro? Most of these fights don't have the good amount of name value or good amount. They're not gonna bring that many views like that you want. Makachev and Ian Gary alone are bringing a lot of views. First of all, that's a title fight, but regardless, these two guys are big names in the UFC. But still, bro, a lot of these fights just are like Neil Magny's on here, bro. I get these early prelims, but like I just don't understand why some of these fighters they're gonna put Makachev and Ian Gary on a card and then surround their fight with a bunch of these fights. Like I can't imagine there's gonna be a bunch of people walking in just to watch like the co-main event and the main event, or just like the main event fight. People probably won't even care about most of these fights, bro. And me as a big UFC fan, I care about a good amount of these fighters on this card, but I still understand why they're on this card. Point blank simple. I don't understand why. So I mean that's it for the video. I mean, this card is trash. Dana, you need to rethink. For UFC 331, please put a lot of a good fight. Like I honestly think it's gonna be Movsar Evloev versus Volkanovski. That's another thing for another video. I think that's probably gonna be like the next main event. Either that or on UFC 332. But 330 is looking bad, bro. They need to fix this shit immediately, bro. Not fix. Just I just don't understand why these so many guys are on this card, But I mean that's all I can really rant about. That's it for the video. Uh, I'm just disappointed, really, honestly. This is not a good card, but that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to, which I would like you to, hope like and subscribe. But I do this. I try to put out as many videos as I can. I have a lot. I have like over 20 drafts of videos. I'm ready to dish out, and you have tons of ideas. So like and subscribe for more of this type of content. And on to the next video. See ya.